As I was preparing to depart, many of my shipmates, after hearing my ultimate duty station, told me to look up Cady. Ironically, after drilling here in this building for many years, I had not crossed paths with him and really had no idea who he was. Ultimately, when I arrived boots on ground, I just did just that and met Greg for the first time. And I quickly learned what a great guy he is. When he told me, "Man, I'm gonna help you." And that he did. He used his gift of persuasion to get me a great assignment working together with him in the shop. We experienced a lot together on that deployment. We got to know each other, chatting on the top of the party headquarters, often watching tracer rounds over the skies back then. Over the course of the next 9 months, he became one of my very best friends. Many years have passed since then, and a lot has changed. What one thing did not change was his passion for helping people and his passion for the United States Navy. The Navy truly was blessed to have such an advocate who, without wavering, pitched the advantages of being part of the greatest naval force in the world, with sincere enthusiasm to anyone that would listen. Granted, there were times I had to remind him that I was already in the Navy, and there's no need to convince me to join again. But his love and his love of the service is genuine, which is why I know that finally piping over and saying farewell. I also know that even after he grows his hair out and has the Grizzly Adams beard, his love for the Navy will always be there. Fair winds, brother. Enjoy your history. This time, it takes me great pleasure to introduce Commander Mike Sampson, Deputy of Readiness, Navy Reserve, Commander Naval Forces Japan, and Officer in Charge of our ceremony.
All right. Thank you. Just my remarks, Commander Cady, it's an honor to be up here, by the way. Good afternoon, shipmates, friends, family, and special honor guests. It's been a minute or two since we've been in the Navy, so we've been around a while, and you're going to hear the stories about Commander Cady. But I should mention, I did share with him early when we were having these conversations about 4 months ago. I don't know if you remember this. I shared with Commander Greg Cady. I said, allowing me to speak at your retirement was it's not really a good idea, possibly a poor reflection on your decision making. So bear that in mind as we kind of go through your This is on you, buddy. So if this goes, it's a blank. So with that, just wanted to. You might hear that special sound as this is your retirement ceremony, and Lieutenant Travis Carlin, who's a dear friend of ours, USN retired, aka chopped box kicker, so he's a supply corps guy for those. Thought he could help send you out the right way with some slightly brown tinted water. So you might be surprised at how good these mocktails taste. So
This isn't in the script.
as I mentioned before, huge thanks.
Oh my.
So sadly, he's the only one that gets to partake because he's the one retiring. The rest of us have to sit here and watch. So, but honestly, I'm thrilled and honored to be part of the official party, and I can't think of a better way to share how much you mean to 170 CNFJ sailors and then me personally, right? And so, as many are here have witnessed, your display of intense passion is just incredible. A passion to always take care of sailors, and we all see that time and time again. You leave lasting impression on everyone you meet, not only within the Navy, but in your professional and personal life. So, anyway, in fact, you have no boundaries when it comes to this. And so I call Greg probably at least every other day, sometimes daily. I'll call him, right? And so, get on my cell phone, middle of the day, we're working. There has yet to be a time that he has not picked up his cell phone. I don't even know if he has a voicemail set up, because every time I call him, it's like I'm a second ring, he's talking to me. So you really are good about being there and helping sort things out. So next time, let your phone go into voicemail so I can see you directly now. Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow when he's done. In fact, he'll probably block my call. That's probably what he's doing. So as you prepare for your life on the outside, I always turn to LinkedIn. And so I wanted to really just return the favor, right? And so I reviewed your LinkedIn profile and wanted to see, maybe what kind of suggestions can I make? What kind of bullet points? And so if you don't know, LinkedIn is this, it's like Facebook professional. So it's your professional life kind of sitting on the side. And it's, so it's like a Facebook or Instagram, but it's all got its photograph on the top and uniform. It looks great. And really you start to read through this thing and you realize what an impressive career he's had, not only in the Navy, but outside of the Navy. So what I've done is, after I read it, I thought, the most interesting man in the world. And everyone, if you remember this commercial from Dos Equis beer, and they talk about this old gentleman, he's got beard, they portray him in some commercials from 2006 to 2016. And it's the most interesting man in the world when you look at his LinkedIn profile. So, and they always end these little commercials with, I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. So that's where we're going with this. So, let's tell you a little bit about Commander Great Cady and how I intend to freshen up his social profile. Most of what I'm about to share is partially true, so take that into consideration. These are the bullet points. These are the bullet points we're going to add to his LinkedIn profile. 37 years ago, circa 1985, the U.S. Navy joined Seaman recruit Great Cady because he found him that interesting. Second bullet point. Commander Cady's charm is so contagious, vaccines have been created for it. You know how much fun I had doing this? He spent 10 years in a Mexican-U.S. border prison for crimes that only he knows, and his escape is even more mysterious. He founded and became the Navy's first reserve human resource officer. Today, over 88.3% of the U.S. Navy can trace their affiliation to Commander Cady. I don't know if that's good or bad. So,
thanks, Mike.
Rumor has it, the head of Navy recruiting found him on a sweltering day, just like today in Minnesota, selling ketchup popsicles, if you can imagine that, to sailors in white gloves. Right then, it was obvious that Commander Cady was the person to fix medical recruiting. Commander Cady does full-time, half-day charity work as a professor at Minnesota State College Southeast. As a sociology criminal justice instructor, it is well known that his students hang on his every word, even the prepositions. It is well documented, here's a good one, it is well documented that the National Park Systems was created by Mother Nature herself as an RV playground for Leanne and Greg. Commander Cady lives vicariously himself, and finally, his only regret is at not knowing what regret feels like. I am. So Commander Cady doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he prefers Dos Equis. Anyways, I got one C story, and we're going to move this thing along. So there's we were doing an exercise, and Commander Cady, it's his first day, right? I don't know. I mean, he shows up, and we're upstairs in our space, and I'm running exercise. I'm the training officer, and so we're running this tabletop exercise. And what that means is we're fighting a war, but we're sitting at a desk, and we're just moving information back and forth. And the person that's most important, I shouldn't say most important, but very important, is someone called a battle watch captain. Sounds impressive, right? It sounds like a superhero. So this battle watch captain is kind of the focus and the center of everything. Information comes up, information comes down, critical to this exercise that we're gonna do from our desk and computers. So everything's going great. All of a sudden, my battle watch captain can't be battle watch captain. He's got to do something else. So he leaves, and so I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay, now who's going to do this, right? Who can I get to do this? And so I did the standard quote, who wants to volunteer or be voluntold to be the battle watch captain? And watch this. I just saw every single person over here in uniform look down at their shoes because they don't want to be the battle watch captain. It happens automatically. It's a natural reflex. But there was one person that stepped forward and said, I'll do it. And so, to my surprise, I'm standing there, and I don't know. I know it's the first day, and I was like, well, let's see how this works out. The green human resource officer is going to be my battle watch captain. Anyway, well done. But it was just goes to show, like, you step in, you do things, and you always support everyone around you. So, but yeah, a battle watch captain should have a cape. I keep thinking there should be something out there that signified the importance of it. But one of the last times we spoke last week, and you were talking about something, and I'm putting this towards the end because it's tough for me, because you talked about your support of local veterans. Right? I hope you can spend more time on that during your remarks. But it was called the Final Salute, where you visit veterans inside the hospice and just let them know that they serve their country. And so that's about all I can say, because my allergies are going to kick in and I'm going to be a mess up here on stage. So pretty darn cool that. So with that, I want to share a gift from the wardroom as a memento and a reminder of our friendship. So, see if she's going to bring up a gift for you. Step up. Probably the wrong gift, right? So this is this is a decanter on behalf of the wardroom. It's got it's got 4 glasses, decanter. It's got our logo on each side, and then it's got his dates that he served, not only once but twice here at CNFJ. So thank you. And then a bottle to go with it too. So he's gonna pass this around. And then on behalf of the crew, shipmates also got something for you. See if she's gonna bring up a gift from the crew. So you may as well just keep standing. So see you. I'm gonna give you the mic.
All right, sir. So obviously we're in Commander Air Force in Japan. So it would be fitting to have a handcrafted Torigate that comes from Japan. Torigate they're usually symboled on a lot of the shrines and temples. They represent taking a mundane life to a sacred life. I know your life hasn't been mundane, but maybe it will be sacred now that you have more time with your beautiful wife and family. So, on behalf of the sailors, CNFJ is for you.
Oh, wow.
So I believe the best naval officers are prior enlisted, and which makes Mr. Cady even better. He's an operations specialist. I mean, I'm an operations specialist, so that's but there's a saying in the Navy that says "Mission first, sailors always," and you by far put your sailors first. I can honestly say, in my 25 years of naval service, you're by far the best naval officer I've ever known. So I appreciate you. Thank you for everything you did, not only for me the last couple of years that have been very challenging, but what you do for our sailors and what you have done for our sailors every day. I can't thank you enough. And, you're not only a great sailor, a great naval officer, but you're an amazing man. Thank you.
Finally, probably one of the most special things. Can you join me on the podium, please? Yeah. So this I told once again, this is on you. I don't know why you somehow keep thinking that this is something I'm doing So real quick, Leanne has basically put together a gift. We talked about this, and it's super exciting. All naval officers should have a sword. So this is the sword with the sword knot. It has his initials on the sword, and really cool, engraved United States Navy Commander Greg Cady. So this is awesome, and it's really only lethal to retirement cake. So eventually it'll slaughter that cake in the back corner. So it's really cool. All right. Wow.
I'm not supposed to start crying yet.
So I'll sum this up. I've been up here too long. So Commander Cady excelled at being a sailor, veteran, an administrator, a teacher, a friend, a mentor, a son, father, grandfather, husband. And you know what? It's a pleasure to know you. Stay thirsty, my friend. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Captain Greg Grenier, Commanding Officer, Naval Reserves, Commander, Naval Forces Japan.
I'm just gonna
Good afternoon, everyone.
That's good.
Today is a special day, and a day in which we recognize and wish fair winds and following seas to Commander Greg Cady, a shipmate who, along with his family, has served our nation, as well as both our Army and our Navy, for 30 years. On behalf of the men and women of Navy Reserve Commander Naval Forces Japan, I'd like to extend a warm and personal CNFJ welcome to Greg's parents, Jerry and Marlene, Greg's wife, Leanne, and son, Alex, Greg's son, Mitchell, and his family, Justine, Logan, Reese, Maverick, and Emmett, Greg's daughter, Taylor, with Mara and daughter, Isla, Greg's brother, Kurt, and his daughter, Pia, and Greg's sister, Chris, and her husband, Mark. Welcome to you all, and we're so glad that you can be here today to celebrate Greg's retirement. We're grateful today for the opportunity to recognize the culmination of Greg's 30 years of faithful service to our country and to honor the sacrifices made by Greg and his family. Greg has had a broad and distinguished career, from Navy service to joining the Army National Guard. Everyone makes mistakes, Greg. To coming home again to the Navy. His has been a career marked by leadership, integrity, superior performance, and most importantly, a willingness to step forward and serve others. I'd like to offer a brief recap. In 1985, at the age of 19, and seeking career opportunities as well as adventure, Greg enlisted in the Navy and attended basic training in Great Lakes, Illinois, along with completing Operations Specialist School in Dam Neck, Virginia. From 1985 to 1989, he served aboard USS Barbie, FF-1088, earning the rank of Petty Officer Second Class, qualifying as an enlisted intelligence assistant, and completing 2 deployments, a Western Pacific cruise, as well as a world cruise where he literally circumnavigated the globe, transiting through the Suez Canal, the Straits of Gibraltar, and the Panama Canal, and visiting ports of call from Pearl Harbor to Thailand to India to the Emirates of the Arabian Gulf to Spain and the Virgin Islands. In 1996, after a multi-year break in service, Greg enlisted in the Minnesota Army National Guard as a motor vehicle operator, MOS 88 Mike. In that same year, he earned his bachelor's degree at St. Cloud State University, and in 1998, he earned a Master of Science from St. Cloud as well. In 2000, Greg affiliated with the Navy Reserve, assigned to Commander Naval Forces Japan in Minneapolis, earning the rank of Petty Officer First Class. In 2004, while serving at CNFJ, Greg was selected through an extremely competitive process to join the intelligence community as a direct commissioned officer, and subsequently transferred to the U.S. Pacific Command Joint Intelligence Operations Center, Joint Detachment, Minneapolis. In 2006, during the height of the global war on terror, Greg mobilized and deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and served as an intelligence officer with the U.S. Army's 4th Infantry Division in Baghdad, Iraq for 1 year. And upon his return, and because of the diversity of his experience and his superb performance across multiple roles, Greg was recalled to active duty again as a by-name request and went on to spend a significant amount of time on active duty with Navy Recruiting District Minneapolis, serving with them from 2009 through 2011 and recruiting and commissioning over 40 Navy Reserve officers. In 2012, Greg transferred into the Human Resources community and was assigned to Navy Reserve Recruiting Command, Millington, Tennessee. And in 2013, in support of this new designator, he earned the Professional in Human Resources, or PHR, certificate. From November 14 to September 15, he served as the Executive Officer for Navy Mobilization Processing Site San Diego, and then from 2015 through 19, he again returned to Navy Recruiting District Minneapolis, this time focused exclusively on the Navy Reserve Medical Mission. In that role, he personally recruited and commissioned 34 medical professionals and earned 2 Reserve Medical Officer Recruiter of the Year awards for both the Midwest and Western regions, as well as other local and regional awards for his recruiting efforts. A huge achievement. I dare say there are a number of Navy Reserve medical professionals in the room today who can either thank or blame Greg for their current status. In December of 2019, Greg rejoined the CNFJ family, and he's been with us ever since, serving both as my N1 administrative officer and my executive officer, performing superbly in both roles. In addition, he played a central role in multiple reorganization efforts that were launched to shape and build a CNFJ reserve force able to rapidly deliver strategic depth and critical capabilities and capacity in support of CNFJ and the fight in the Pacific. As we look at the return of great power competition, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the parallels that invasion has to China's declared goals with respect to Taiwan and the South China Sea, and the absolutely central role that our ally Japan plays in the Pacific, the importance of Greg's work with CNFJ could not be more clear. Greg, you've had an amazing career, one to be very proud of. And I personally have had the pleasure of working extensively with Greg over the last 15 months. During that time, I've come to know him not only as a total professional and a leader who has always stepped in to support the needs of Naval Forces Japan as well as the Navy, but also a trusted teammate and a friend. When I think of Greg, a handful of words immediately come to mind: patriotism, professionalism, integrity, excellence, even-handedness, results, service before self, but most of all, leadership. Whether dropping everything to take care of at-risk sailors, to managing the sometimes overwhelming administrative requirements of a unit the size of Naval Forces Japan, to facilitating the planning and training required to deliver ready forces in support of CNFJ operations in the Indo-Pacific theater, or helping to lead those forces as a battle watch captain without a cape, and team lead during critical joint and fleet exercises, Greg absolutely excelled in the performance of his duties, and he led from the front. Most importantly, and what I as a CO was most grateful for, however, was Greg's consistent willingness to engage at a personal and a human level, to share his experience and to offer his voice and perspective to myself and the broader CNFJ team on the most critical issues of the day in what has turned out to be a challenging 15 months. In that spirit, Greg actively mentored, coached, and guided our people, offering his perspective as our unit discussed and had dialogue around the monumental issues that we have all faced over the last 15 months, all against the backdrop of a continuing COVID-19 pandemic. Greg truly helped make those conversations meaningful and productive. Greg, I am so grateful that we had the opportunity to serve together, and I could not have asked for a better XO or a better teammate and friend. Thank you for everything you've brought to the Naval Forces Japan team. Like many of us, Greg joined the Navy both to serve and to see the world. Adventure and the opportunity to serve something larger than himself called, and Greg answered. Around the world, from the Mediterranean to the Middle East to the Pacific, Greg answered the call. But as Greg shared with me, he was only able to do this because he was blessed with tremendous support on the home front. Leanne, we are humbled by your service and by your contribution as well. Through the constant interruptions of your home life caused by the extended active duty periods, annual training events, drill weekends, constant phone calls on nights, weekends, and holidays, and other countless sacrifices, large and small, you and your family's patriotism and support enabled Greg to serve. Greg, today we honor that service, and we express our gratitude for the sacrifices that you, your wife, Leanne, your children, Alex, Mitchell, and Taylor, and your extended family have made on behalf of our Navy and our nation. Greg expressed to me recently and unhesitatingly that what he will miss the most as he retires is the sense of camaraderie that all who serve have experienced. But know that while we say farewell to you today, Greg, Leanne, Alex, Mitchell, and Taylor, we do so knowing that you are now and always will be cherished members of the Navy family. In closing, it struck me that when I think of Greg, I'm reminded of the opening words attributed to John Paul Jones, the father of our Navy, in his famous letter on the qualifications of a naval officer. I quote, "It is by no means enough that an officer of the Navy should be a capable mariner. He must be that, of course, but also a great deal more. He should be as well a gentleman of liberal education, refined manners, punctilious courtesy, and the nicest sense of personal honor. Indeed, he should be the soul of tact, patience, justice, firmness, kindness, and charity." Shipmate, well done to you and your family on your 30 years of service. You have absolutely lived up to those aspirational words. I suspect John Paul Jones would be proud.
Thank you, Captain Ranieri. Captain Ranieri will now recognize Commander Cady with an award for his 30 years of service. Guests, please rise. Military personnel, attention to award. The President of the United States take pleasure in presenting the Meritorious Service Medal to Commander Gregory J. Cady, United States Navy, for service set forth in the following citation. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as Executive Officer and Administrative Department Head for Navy Reserve, Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Japan, from December 2019 to May 2022. Commander Cady's attention to detail was critical to ensuring the 171-member unit met all administrative and mobilization requirements. Over the course of his tour, 185 sailors provided 4,994 days of active duty to Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Japan, in direct support of the exercises Keen Edge 2020, 2022, Typhoon Ready Reliant Gale 2020, Citadel Pacific 2020, and a COVID-19 quick response team. In 2020, he successfully executed a major restructuring of the command into a headquarters and 8 detachments, resulting in approximately $1 million in annual travel savings. In 2021, in alignment with the Chief of Navy Reserve's design of the Force Initiative, he spearheaded the consolidation of the command into a headquarters and 2 detachments focused on key capabilities. In 2022, he played a critical role in preparing over 100 sailors to deploy to Japan for the first time in over 2 years due to COVID-19 restrictions. Commander Cady's superior performance of duties culminated his 30 years of honorable and dedicated military service. Commander Cady's exceptional professionalism, personal initiative, and loyal devotion to duty reflected great credit upon him and were in keeping of the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, C.A. Lawton, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, U.S. Naval Forces Japan, Commander, Navy Region Japan. The Navy recognizes that the sailors themselves are not the only people who serve our great country. The family and friends left behind during long deployments, away from home sacrifice a great deal as well. So today we honor Commander Cady's family for their dedicated service to our nation. We thank you for your unwavering support. Will Commander Cady's parents, wife, children, and grandchildren please stand? To all these, see these presents greetings. By the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separation from Greg as he served his country. For 30 years that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer peace. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your son, father, husband, and grandfather did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you for all your for the enduring separation. Given this 14th day of May, 2022, signed Gregory F. Ranieri, Captain, United States Navy. Please miss me. Captain Ranieri will now present Commander Cady with his certificate of retirement.
Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Almost want to do that again. This is to certify that Commander Gregory Joseph Cady, having served faithfully and honorably, is retired from the United States Navy on the first day of June 2022. Signed, Vice Admiral John B. Knoll, Chief of Naval Personnel. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Cady will now give his farewell remarks.
Wow, what a ceremony. Thank you, Captain Ranieri. Shipmates, friends, and family for taking the time today to help me in honoring 30 years of service to our great country. I do have to start off with sharing a story how all this started. My parents woke up one morning in April 1985 to find a note. I'll be gone for a few days. I'm joining the Navy. I have to go to Milwaukee to enlist. Now that's a true story, not like some of the things that Mike said. I have to say, it was an interesting walk back to the house after those couple of days. You know, there was no cell phones then or anything like mother still brings it up once in a while. It all worked out well. Yes, I joined the Navy by myself. But I did not get to where I am today, right now, by myself. That's going to be one of the themes of my appreciation message today. As I was preparing for this day, I needed to keep my message short, but yet meaningful. As I was thinking of how to retire with a strong message, I came up with 3 themes. 1, it's challenging to achieve goals by yourself. 2, earn your paycheck, leave a footprint. 3, the soles of our footwear that enable us to make a footprint is our families. Keep this in mind, footprints. What do I mean by footprints? You may be asking yourself. Well, just hear me out. When I first joined the Navy, I really didn't have any idea of what I was getting into. Nor did my parents, because I didn't tell them. I was assigned to the USS Barbie after 88 in 1985 after completing Operations Cady School. On this ship, I quickly learned the expectations were high, but I also realized the value of my fellow shipmates and leaders. I did well as a result of great mentorship, along with solid work ethic my parents instilled in me. We sailed around the world on the Barbie, literally, a world and Western Pacific cruise. And yes, I did cross the equator. Twice. Once as a polywog, and the other time as shellback. Those of you in the Navy know exactly what I'm talking about. As an OS, we had a demanding job out at sea, but it was my shipmates and leaders that led the way for me to follow footprints. As service members, we all took an oath to serve our country, to do our very best. So I have a question for you. Are you making a difference in our Navy? Are you fulfilling the mission of our commands? Are you leading others? Are you leaving footprints? I challenge each of you to reflect. Look back into your career. Even today, are you making a difference as you wear the cloth of our nation? During my 4 years of active duty, I didn't have the maturity to truly recognize patriotism, nor the impact of serving our country. I transitioned into the civilian sector in 1989, entering a career within the California Department of Corrections. California Department of Corrections is a paramilitary agency, so hierarchy and rank was nothing new to me. They even shaved our head at the academy. I started to realize it was the Navy that equipped me with the discipline, tenacity, and continuous improvement philosophy that guided me in working in a maximum security prison. I automatically started going after that next grade, something we always do in the Navy. After 4 years with the California Department of Corrections, I decided to move back to the Midwest, starting a career with the Minnesota Department of Corrections. It was at that time that my patriotism had begun to resurface. Living in the Midwest, I wasn't aware of Navy Reserve opportunities. Not too many Navy ships around. So I enlisted into the Minnesota Army National Guard. I quickly learned that the Army is a large branch of service, providing me with new leadership opportunities. There is where I formed my leadership philosophy. Empowered service members will always achieve mission. Let me say that again. Empowered service members will always achieve mission. In the Army, my nickname was Squid. My Navy pride seeped out of my pores, I guess. In 2000, I came back home, enlisted into the Navy Reserve. Get this. My first billet was with Commander Naval Forces Japan, CNFJ, right here in Minneapolis. And now my last tour is with Commander Naval Forces Japan. my first tour to CNFJ, I wasn't prepared for all the brass and high-ranking officers. 2 years later, an officer recruiter approached me and said, "Hey, CNFJ officers stated you need to apply for a commission." Yeah, okay, was my initial thought. For a year, that recruiter, Lieutenant Commander Dave Nygaard, was at drill weekend every month. And guess what? He talked to me every month. He empowered me to compete for a commission. He provided career paths for countless number of officers. He leaves behind many footprints. A legendary recruiter. As I was building a commissioning packet, I needed CNFJ's commanding officer's official endorsement. Captain Brooks Bird was the CO at the time. He supported my commissioning aspirations, but he had a catch. He told me he'd write the endorsement letter based on my performance during a major exercise in Japan. He assigned me to be the Force Protection Officer, a position historically filled by a commissioned officer. If I did well, he'd write the letter. I guess I did okay. I stand before you today as a commander. Captain Bird led our command, leaving footprints. However, he stopped and let me create my own footprints. I promoted to OS1, and the next thing I knew it, the Intelligence Officer Direct Commission results were published. I was selected for commission. I was assigned to Joint Intelligence Operations Center Pacific, right here in the basement. I have to admit, I was intimidated. I'm no longer an enlisted sailor, but a commissioned officer. Navy tradition and heritage is for the Chief Petty Officers Mess to mentor junior officers. I was fortunate that Intel had such a great chiefs mess. They ensured I didn't screw anything up. Plus, they empowered me to earn my paycheck. In 2006, I got the call. You're going into Iraq for up to 18 months. I said, when do we go? Skipper told me, it's just 2 enlisted members and yourself. When do we report, I asked. Skipper replied, in 16 days. What do I pack? What's the mission? Don't know, states the skipper. That's why we're sending you to figure it all out, as I expect we'll be sending more members to Iraq. I'm going to war. Training is over. This is where I met Commander Kyle Anderson. We were battle watch captains. I know for a fact we left footprints in Iraq. My family back home enabled me to focus on the mission during the year deployment. All right, I'll regroup. What's that, Skipper? Okay, I know, right? In 2009, Lieutenant Commander Dave Nygaard was at drill weekend again, as always. This time he hit me up and said he wanted me to replace him as an officer recruiter since he was retiring. Again, my response was something like, yeah, okay. This is way above my capabilities. I accepted 2-year active duty orders as an officer recruiter. So really, Dave recruited me twice. Now comes the time when I need employer support. I was granted a leave of absence from my employer, Minnesota State College Southeast, to serve on active duty. At the time, my college leadership, Leslie, Joe, who are in attendance today, thank you for your support. As reservists, it's critical that we involve our employers in our military career. Thank them. Speaking, I'll just share a little story a little bit. So when I would make an appointment to meet with Joe, she'd always get nervous and say, how long are you going for this time? Sorry, Joe, thank you for your support. Within a few months of recruiting, it was now me that was on the reserve center every drill weekend, trying to emulate Lieutenant Commander Nygaard's professionalism. It was my turn to empower enlisted sailors to seek out a commission. I was fortunate to be part of so many officers' commissioning process. Many of you are here today. I'm very proud of you and enjoy serving with you. The 2-year recruiting duty actually turned into 6 years. The last 4, I was assigned a reserve medical mission, one of the most complex missions of the entire United States Navy. Again, I was intimidated, but my leadership team had confidence in me. I needed to make my footprints to help medical professionals come into our Navy. Many of them are still serving today, and in fact, our lieutenants with us. So thank you for serving our nation. Ironically, my first tour back in the Navy was CNFJ, and now I'm retired from CNFJ for full circle. Over the past 2 years, I've had the pleasure of earning the trust of CNFJ leadership and assigned as executive officer, a role I had never held for this great length of time. So I have to share a little story how that became. So I'm an HR officer now, and Captain Pimentel, the previous skipper, goes to me, "Hey, we want you to be the executive officer." I'm like, "Sir, I'm an HR officer. There's 16 other line officers." And he goes, "Understood. Carry on, XO." So then I was like, well, we're going to get a new skipper in 6 months. There's no way in heck he's going to want an HR officer leading a high-tempo operational unit. Captain Grenadier comes on board. We have some conversations, and I told him the same thing. "Sir, I'm retiring in a few years. This is a great position for somebody to make it to that next rank." And he goes, "Okay, thank you for sharing with me. Get back to work, XO." So thank you for having that trust. I really want to. In closing, never forget where you came from. Earn your paycheck and make footprints. And thank your employer and family for the support so we can serve our great country. Thank you.
Thank you, Commander Cady. Flag detail. Post.
Detail, attention. Right step. Forward. March. Detail, halt.
The flag being used today was flown on behalf of this sailor at locations meaningful to him in his career. This flag was flown aboard the U.S. Constitution, Old Ironsides, the oldest ship in the United States Navy, America's ship of state, and the oldest commissioned warship afloat in the world on March 13, 2022, to commemorate the occasion of Commander Cady's retirement. It was also flown at the American Legion Post in Red Wing, Minnesota on April 21st, 2022.
We will now perform the Old Glory ceremony. The Old Glory flag ceremony is a time-honored tradition that symbolizes the service members' rise to the ranks, but most importantly, it represents their love for the nation that they don't so proudly serve. I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over the great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, Aragon Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the cane fields of the Philippines, the jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Guadalcanal, New Britain, Peleliu, the deserts of Africa, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and a score of other places long forgotten, but all those who were there with me. I was there. I led my soldiers and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I've been soiled, burned, torn and trampled on the streets of countries I've helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled, burned, and torn in the trampled streets of my country. And when it's those whom I've served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped in the surly bounds of the earth from my vantage point from the moon. I stand watch over new frontiers of space. I've been silent witness to all Americans' finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used for bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I lie in trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside for her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. I, in the flag of the United States of America, my name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God. Long may I wave. Black detail.
Forward. March. Detail. Halt. About face. Left. Stop. See.
I will now present Commander Cady his shadow box. Before that, only have a seat. Stand up. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires and is departing the ship for the last time, it's considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow to touch the land first. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sturdy box in which to display the mementos of the sailor's accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow. The box safely contains the sailor's shadow until he is safely ashore. With the shadow box are the ranks that Commander Cady has earned and the commands that he has served. The flag was presented by Captain Bob Asman on April 24th of this year, on Captain Asman's last day of naval service. What's special about this flag, it was flown over the USS Arizona on December 7th, 2021, on the 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, in tribute to more than 2,400 lives lost during the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Petty Officer Matthew Gustafson. I will now read the watch, another long-standing naval tradition. For 30 years, this sailor has stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in our school learning our trade, this shipmate stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years, when the storm clouds were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this shipmate stood the watch. He stood the watch for 30 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that this sailor stood the watch. Today, we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved by those you have trained, guided, and led. Shipmate, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Please rise for the benediction and remain standing for the remainder of the ceremony.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, again, thank you for allowing us to come together and celebrate Commander Cady's retirement. We thank you for the life, skill, and dedication of Commander Cady. We also thank you for the great sacrifice of his wife and children in allowing him to serve this country faithfully. We ask for your blessing, merciful Lord, upon this family as they start a new chapter in their lives. Give them comfort in the difficulty of leaving what they know. Bless them with new friends with whom they can share the joy of life. Make their memories fond and sweet of all they accomplished and all the people they knew. And as the old prayer goes, Commander Cady, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. May the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you again in the palm of your hands. Fair winds and falling seas. Amen.
Commander Cady will now request permission to go ashore. Boatswain, stand by the side.
Aye, aye, sir.
Has permission to go ashore, sir.
Forward. Mark.
Boatswain, strike 4 bells. Commander, Navy retired, departing. Bosun, strike 4 bells. Commander, United States Navy, retired, and Mrs. Cady, departing.
At ease. Ladies and gentlemen, staying on first week hearing. This concludes just an absolutely amazing ceremony. Commander Cady, thanks you for taking part in this time-honored tradition. Please join us for the slaying of the cake at the back of this refreshments with us. If you have any. And also join us at the reception at the VFW 555. It's in Richfield, about 4